Hey everybody, it's ecargmura. Just want to let you know that since it's a new year, I changed my avatar a little bit. I tweaked it a bit. The background's different, and like I took out the ears, and I changed my outfit, and I changed my ear accessory. Let me know how it looks. Sometimes I like to, whenever there's a new year, I like to tweak my avatar a bit, just so, to signify that it's a new year. Alright, today I just wanted to talk about a book I finished recently. I finished Dracula. Well, first off, it took me 6 months to finish it. I'm a slow reader. And then, I know that the book is lauded as, a gothic horror story, but, how do I say it? I find it a little underwhelming. I had a fun time reading it, but it's not to the point where I would recommend it to anyone or reread it ever again. But I do understand why it's practically like the godfather of vampire novels. The biggest charm of the story of the book is the epistolary style of the epistolary style of writing. However, I do think that it would have worked a bit better if it was written in a third person omniscient perspective, because like the travel logs are fine, but at the same time, like some of the entries are so long, and sometimes you just wondering, like, is there a point to this entry, or is it a point to this one or that one? And on top of that, they're long. They're super long. Like, they're all supposed to be like journal entries and letters and stuff, but are you telling me that someone can like Mina or Jonathan or Dr. Seward could write like entries super long while they're like running away from like vampires, or like they're traversing through the dark or something? It does sound a little like weird, like the first few chapters of Jonathan Harker, like in the beginning, like his journal in the beginning, he's just like writing everything down, and suddenly he's just like trapped in the castle and just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write everything down. I'm gonna write everything down while I'm fighting for my life here. They spend way too much time describing the architecture of the buildings they are. Like, you don't need to like write everything down. I think that's the reason why it kind of gets a little annoying to read, because they're like, oh yeah, these brick walls, the architecture, like the building, the ceilings, around the walls, like it smells. Yeah. And also, like, some of the some of the entries are just like going through everything they see, like if there's some sort of Ace Attorney crime scene. I'm just like, I do not need to know why these rats are here. I do not need to know why like the curtains are here. Like, is it necessary? Are all these details necessary? I know that it was written back in the day where there weren't any like editors, and like condensing stuff wasn't like as easy as it was right in modern days. But like, a Discord friend told me that the first chapter was condensed a lot. So like, I do wonder, like, maybe Dracula would have been better. Like, I would have probably liked Dracula a bit better if some of the content were condensed, because some of these entries are like not necessary at all. Okay, and then let's go with the characters. The characters are fine, like, but like, basically you can kind of tell like the story was written by a man back in the Victorian era or something. Like, you can kind of tell because of the way the women are handled, like Lucy and Mina, which is a kind of a shame, because Mina is like the only good character in the story. Everybody else is kind of bleh. Like, sometimes I just feel like Jonathan, Dr. Seward, and all the other male characters are just practically the same people, but in different situations and occupations. That's about it. And then Dracula, I mean, the whole story is about, oh yeah, there's this vampire named Dracula, but he has like the presence of a boogeyman, and like he is like the root of all evil, the cause of all the problems, but he's not as like involved in the story. Well, mainly because of the travel logs. It's just like, oh yeah, like suddenly he just appears, and then suddenly he's not important. Like he's important, suddenly he appears, he causes problems, and then he just like fades away, and then like everybody, like, and then all the characters are doing like random side quests, and then suddenly he shows up again, and then they're doing side quests again, and suddenly final battle. Meh. And it's just like I kind of wish like Dracula was a little bit more like integrated into the story, but I get why. But other than that, I do like the vampire lore, like where Dracula can shift into a wolf or a bat, and the fact that he actually does like the conception that vampires like die from sunlight isn't really actually like used in this book. In Dracula, like he can still move, like he can still like move around and is alive in the daylight, but the only problems that he has is that his powers don't work in the daylight, so like he's more active at night, so he's like a nocturnal creature or something like that. So for example, if he like shapeshifts in the morning, he stays that way and can't change back until like it's night, which is an interesting concept in itself. It's kind of a shame that like Mina is like the best character in this story, but then like she after like a certain part in the second half of the book, she is kind of like relegated to like, oh, you're a girl, you're a woman, you gotta leave this to the men, and she's like, and then suddenly she went from like, okay, like I'm the one doing all this work, and suddenly the men are just like, hey, stay back, and then she's like, okay, I can't believe, I'm so glad these men are helping me with my problem. And I'm just like, it's a shame because she's the best character. There's also one character I want to talk about, Van Helsing. I know that in like in like succeeding vampire media, he's described as like a vampire hunter, but in this story, he's mostly a doctor who just knows a lot about vampires, and he is a significant part of the story. I do want to know how he knows about vampires. I don't think it was elaborated, but correct me if I'm wrong. I do admit that I did read this story while listening to the audiobook, and I do think that the audiobook is a lot better than reading the physical book. Yeah, like the voice actors did like a really good job with you know, like differentiating between like each character and like narrating the travel logs and stuff. So yeah, if you want to experience Dracula, I would recommend the audiobook and not the physical book, because yeah, like the book does drag a lot in the second half. My main issue with Dracula is just basically the second half of the book, because the first half was really good with all like the mystery, the ominous vibes, like the tense situations that the characters go through. Then suddenly the second half is just like, oh, we have to kill Dracula. Does all these unnecessary side quests. Suddenly Dracula shows up and like hurts the best character in the story, Mina, and suddenly they're just like, surprise Pikachu face, like, we really have to kill Dracula. And then suddenly, like, they do all these unnecessary side quests again, and suddenly there's like final battle, and then the final battle is only 2 pages long. 2 pages long, and then suddenly we're done, and just like, that was it. So yeah, like everybody's always like hyping the story, so it's like a good gothic horror. It's like gothic horror that ends all gothic horror, but I'm just like, it wasn't really that good to me. So yeah, I do recommend that you just do the audio book instead of reading through the physical book. Like I said before, to be honest, Dracula was actually a part of my required reading back in college, so I have like a very like obscure version of the book that I bought like from my university library a long time ago. Um, it's called the Broadview Literary Press. Yeah, that's the edition I have. But it's basically the same thing. Like the audiobook version is has a different is from a different edition, but the contents of it all is still pretty different. It's still pretty much the same. So I feel like if you have any version of Dracula, it's gonna be like the same thing inside. So you don't need to worry about like what version you have. Audiobook and whatever version you have is basically the same thing. If you like Dracula, let me know why you liked it, because I probably won't like it, even if after a reread. It's something I probably wouldn't reread again, so, let me know what you liked about Dracula, and, if you want to see me do more, like, book rambling stuff, let me know, and, this was our ecargmura. Um, Let me know if you like this new edition of my VTuber avatar, and I'll be back with another video. Bye!